you guys, it's Charlie, and today I will be showing you guys how to get this holiday look, and I hope you guys enjoy. Okay, so first I'm going to show you guys what I use to keep my hair back when I'm doing my makeup, and this is super cool. So it's from Sway, and it's a skincare brand, and it's a super cute headband, and I also use this for face masks. So first I'm going to start with primers, and this is one of my favorite primers. It's the NYX Honey Dew Me Up, and it's really like moisturizing, and it creates like a sticky base. And then the next primer I use is the Nivea Men Sensitive Post-Shave Balm, and this is seriously like one of my favorite primers, and I think it's like only like $7 at Target. Okay, so at the moment my favorite foundation is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Foundation, and it just looks really nice and natural on the skin, and it does oxidize a little bit, so make sure to get one shade lighter than you would usually get. And I just put some of this on my hand, and I'm going to use my beauty blender. And then for under my eyes, I use the Glamouflage concealer by Hard Candy, and this is super cheap, but it's like super duper full coverage. And before that, I'm going to take my powder and just get it ready so that right after I can set it. I'm going to take the Sigma E55 eye shading brush. I'm just going to set my under eyes with the Laura Mercier Loose Translucent Setting Powder. And then while I am baking at 375 degrees, I'm going to start on my brows. And for my brows, I use the ColourPop Brow Box in the shade Dark Brown. And pretty much I just outline them first, so then when I go in with the dip brow, it doesn't make it like as messy, you know, you don't have to worry as much about it. And then I'm gonna go in and fill in the other brow. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and fill these in with the Anastasia Dip Brow in the shade Dark Brown. And this is just like the best pomade I've ever tried. And it's really nice because it just like fills them in. Like it just, like if you want bold brows, put this on your list. And then I'm just gonna go in with the Anastasia brush, and I'm pretty sure this is number 14. It's kind of like worn off because I've used it so much. And then once I fill it in to about here, I just take the excess product and kind of like blend it into the front. Then I'm just going to go ahead and do the other brow. Then I'm going to go in with the same brush and concealer and just carve them out. Okay, so now that we have two brows that are sharp and just like carved for the gods, I'm going to start on the eyes. And I'm going to show you guys a few different palettes that you should put on your holiday wish list. And these are just kind of some of my like all-time favorite palettes that I use on my eyes like constantly. So this is the first one. This is the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. And this is just a nice go-to palette. The next palette is the Jeffree Star Cosmetics Androgyny palette. And this is another palette I tend to reach to a lot. The last palette I have is the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette, and this is actually like a really good price for what you get, as well as the other Morphe palettes. And a few that I would recommend is the 35O and the 3502, but I feel like this is so versatile because you have so many different colors. Like it's just insane, and you can use this for pretty much like anything. Okay, and then the other palette I forgot to mention is the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. Okay, so first I will be prepping my eyes with the Essence I Love Color Intensifying Eyeshadow Base. And this is one of my favorite eyeshadow primers I've ever used, not only because it's $3, which is just crazy. This would be a perfect stocking stuffer, just saying. But it creates such a nice like matte eye when you set it with powder, and it actually stays on. Like, I've used the Urban Decay and Too Faced eyeshadow primers, but I feel like they like smudge the crease a lot, which I am not here for. I don't think anybody's here for it. I mean, maybe if you're doing like a messy eye. Is that gonna be a trend in 2018? Let's just hope not. Then I'm going to take this and just go straight from the applicator, and I usually do like 2 swipes. And then I'm gonna take the same E60 brush by Sigma and just blend it out all over my lid. And then I usually reach toward the white matte shade in the Modern Renaissance palette to set my eyes. I'm gonna be creating a cool toned brown, so I'm gonna explain that in a second. So cool toned browns have more of a cool than a warm undertone. See how this almost has like a gray undertone? That's what I mean by like cool toned browns. So first I'm gonna take this Safe Word from the Androgyny palette as my transition shade in my crease. I'm just taking the Sigma E40 brush to blend it out. And I'm going to go over to my Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm going to dip my brush into these 2 shades right here to start deepening it up. And I usually like to go from like lightest to darkest shades because I don't like to like go in with a dark shade, because you can always build it up. Then I'm just going to go ahead and blend this out with a separate blending brush. I like to switch back and forth with my blending brushes. This is the Morphe E23, and this is one of my favorite blending brushes because if you want to blend out like completely and not as, like this one's really good for like detailed blending, like if you don't want to fade it up as much. And then this one's good if you want to fade it up more. So now I'm going to go into the Huda Beauty palette. And I'm going to dip into these, like this shade right here, to kind of just start to deepen it even more. Then I'm going to take my Sigma E40 blending brush and blend it out. And I like to blend every shade, like, because I feel like if you blend at the very end, it just doesn't do as good of a job, because you don't, when you keep building and building on the unblended shadows, it doesn't create the different layers and levels that you want. Then I'm gonna go even a little bit darker on my outer V, and I'm gonna go in with the Modern Renaissance palette, and I'm going to take the Cypress Umber shade, which is like the darkest shade in the palette, and just add that just to my outer V and barely blend it like across. Then I'm going to go into the Huda Beauty palette again, and I'm gonna take this Musk shade right here and put that kind of in the middle of my eye to blend this into the middle, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put a shimmer shade on top. You can pretty much go anywhere with this eye look, like it's just kind of an everyday, but later we're gonna pop on a red lip and it'll just go from like everyday normal glam to like holiday party, Christmas, what up? Then I'm going to go into the Jaclyn Hill palette again, and I'm going to take this flat brush from the Naked 3 brush from the palette. I'm just going to wet this brush with some setting spray. And first I'm going to be dipping into this shade right here, and it's almost like a brown silver, and it's like super pretty. And I'm just going to start carving out into almost like a half cut crease. Then I'm going to go back in with the Huda Beauty palette, and I'm gonna take this shade Cashmere, and I'm gonna kind of use that to blend this into this. So now I'm going to take this brush from the Tarte Unicorn brush set, and I'm just gonna kind of sweep it away really gently, because sometimes the concealer will be moody and just like completely wipe off your foundation when you take away your setting powder, and it's just not cool. Like, it's upsetting because it's like you took all that work and then you just have to redo your whole face, and it's just like, no. So now before I do the rest of my eyes, I'm gonna go in with my favorite bronzer, and this is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and I'm pretty sure it's like $8 or something. It's in that price range. So it is drugstore, and it just smells, like pineapples and like the beach and summer, and it's just like, you know, when it's cold outside and it's snowing and you're like, I miss the summer, just like, you know, just spray that in. I'm gonna take my crown brush, and this is a flat, like, bronzing brush. I'm not really sure what it's called. It doesn't have like a number on it. I got this in my Ipsy, and I'll put a link down below if you guys want to sign up for Ipsy. It's one of my favorite subscription services because it creates a range of products for you every month, and you get 5, and a lot of times I get like really nice brushes and like high-end, high-quality things, and it's only 10 bucks, and it's insane. Like, I got this brush, and this brush itself is worth more than $10. And I'm just kind of doing circular motions and carve those cheekbones out. And I always do the forehead. Like, don't forget the forehead. That's one of the most important parts, because if you don't, it just like looks like you're wearing a mask and it doesn't create the definition. Then for my nose, I just kind of take the excess on the brush and contour the sides. And the sides. And one of my favorite blushes at the moment is the Milani Coral Beans blush. And it's really pretty, especially for fair skin, because it creates more of a natural finish. And I'm just going to be taking my Luxie 514 blush brush, and I'm going to start at my cheeks and then blend it in. And then I usually put some on my nose because it just looks cute. Next, I'm going to be doing eyeliner. I'm going to be taking my favorite liquid liner, and this is the M Cosmetics Illustrative Eyeliner Brush Tip. And not that many people I've heard like talk about it, and I personally love this more than the Stila, the Kat Von D tattoo liner, like everything. It just stays on so good, and it's not necessarily a felt tip, so it doesn't dry out as fast. It's more of like a brush tip. That's why it's called the brush tip. But it's just, it comes to a really sharp point. What I do before is I just do a really thin line across, and then I start and I just wing it. And now that we have the eyeliner done, I'm going to take this Sigma E30 brush, and I'm going to go in with one of my favorite highlighters. This is the Fenty Beauty Kilowatt Duo Highlighter, and it's the shade Mean Money and Hustler Baby. And the only reason I didn't get the lightest shade was because I feel like it was too pink. Like, I like more golden tones, and I was lucky enough that this actually isn't too dark and it still has a golden tone. Then I'm going to go back in under my eyes, and I'm going to take the Naked 3 brush, and I'm going to use this bigger, fluffier side. And I'm going to take the Huda Beauty palette, and I'm going to use the shade Musk under my eyes. I'm going to barely tap the shade out, and I'm going to do that on this side right here. Then I'm going to be prepping my lashes for my fake lashes with the Benefit Roller Lash Mascara. This is one of my favorite mascaras for before your false lashes because it doesn't clump them up as much. It just kind of like lengthens them and separates them so they blend in with your lashes more. So next I'm going to show you guys a few of my different lashes that I usually reach for. The first ones are the Flutter Lashes Intoxicating, and these are some of my favorite lashes for glam because they're only $10, which is super cool because they're like such high quality. But if you want to spend a little more on luxury lashes, I'm going to be using the Miami Lily Lashes, and these are just, they're so good. And then I'll be using the Benefit Real False Lashes Invisible Lash Glue, and this is my favorite lash glue by far. I've tried the House of Lashes and the Dual Lash Glue. Dual Lash Glue does not stay on, like, at all. Like, I just can't stand it. But this stays on so well, and I really compare it to the House of Lashes Lash Glue. The only reason I choose this over the House of Lashes is because the House of Lashes glue, when I take it off, it always leaves some, and sometimes it even pulls off the skin off my eyelid. I'm just going to take the lash glue, and I'm just going to put a little bit on the lashes. Now I'm going to do my highlight, and I'm going to go back with the Fenty Beauty Mean Money Hustle Baby Duo. I'm going to be taking my Morphe 510 brush. Super pretty. Then I'm going to take the Lip Paint by Tattoo Junkie in the shade Rebel. And this is one of my favorite liquid lipsticks because it just like stays on so well. Okay, so finally I will be taking the Tatcha Luminous Dewy Skin Mist and just spraying this all over my face. Okay, so I hope you guys like this video, and don't forget to comment down below, like, and subscribe to my channel. Bye-bye!